Dearest listeners,
Book babes and book bros.
welcome to Book Babble. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Tanya, and we're the Witlet Women, your hosts for the day.
and today we have Kirsten. She's the author of the Mindbreaker series. So, would you like to introduce yourself a little?
Sure. I'm Kirsten Foster. I go by KW Foster is my pen name. And I'm the author of the Mindbreaker series, which book one is A Curse of Breath and Blood, and that's out right now. You can get that on KU, Barnes and Nobles, Waterstones, wherever you buy books. It's also on audiobook. Um, and the second book comes out on April 8th, and that's about Wrath and Ruin. And that will be all the same places as well. The audiobook will take a little longer because it's hard to book those audiobook narrators now. But yeah, it'll be all places where you buy books. It follows Aelia Springborn, who's a queen turned mercenary as she searches for her sister and finds love along the way.
Yes, I mean, it's such a good book. I can't wait for the second one to come out. So, we are so happy to have you on to talk about it. Um, are you ready to babble?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Great.
I'll go ahead and put 5 minutes on the clock and we can get started.
So, what inspired you to write these stories?
I think so I had some time where I was working from home and I like did not have enough to do, and so I just kind of started writing while I was like in between Zoom meetings. And that's where the story like started. It kind of follows it it was kind of a way for me to get out all of my emotions that I had after getting out of a bad relationship, and that's kind of what started the story.
That's impressive. So, knowing that it was such an emotional journey, what's your favorite chapter and scene that you wrote or have written?
I think that my favorite one from the first book is when she goes into the camp and she is like spying on her sister. And I don't want to give too much away. She's like spying on her sister, and then she has to like get chased by all these people, and that was my favorite scene to write. And the dire wolves come, and that was my favorite scene to write.
That's amazing. It was a really good scene, so I understand.
I feel like you could sell the whole thing with just that. So that's
Exactly.
amazing. What's your process for writing? How do you make these worlds come true?
So a lot of it is first just like thinking a lot about it. So what I'll do is like I'll jot down ideas in a notebook, and then it kind of like pieces the story together. So before I wrote A Curse of Breath and Blood, I wrote a prequel to that one, which will come out later in the series. But that kind of started the whole like world building, and how I kind of when I was thinking about the world that I wanted to build, I was like, okay, well, every world has like religions, and like what is like their origin story. So that's how I started. Is like what was their origin story, and how did like their cultures like kind of split off and do and become these different races and peoples and all that stuff. So that's how I like started the world. And then with each book, I don't really outline a ton. I'm a discovery writer, so I have like a basic outline of things I want to happen in the book. And I know, so like for the second book, I don't want to give too much away, but I was like, oh, this has to happen, and then this has to happen, and then this has to happen, and then I like fill in the blanks with the rest of the story. So that's how I write. Yeah.
So, given that you have that writing style and you don't outline everything in detail, was there a scene that you wanted to put in the book and you had to cut because it was just it wouldn't work once you wrote it?
The first book cut a lot cut from it. That went through like 17 different uh, 17 different stages. I have, scenes where I don't want to give, again, I'm not trying to give it too much away, but this book is out. So, like, I had a scene where, like, Caden and Ailey, like, get together earlier, and I cut that to add more, like, longing and tension. Um, and then in this book I'm writing right now, I had to just cut out like 1,000 words because I was like, oh, that's like not where I want my character to go. Like that was a good scene, but it's not right for this book. So I keep all of them in a folder that are like cutscenes in case I want to bring them back. But yeah.
That's a smart idea.
I
Good.
love that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
release it randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you choose the publishing path that you chose?
It kind of chose me more than I chose it. Yeah, I graded this book. I graded this book for about 6 months, and then I had some bites, some nibbles, and then I got a publishing offer. And you know, I took the sure thing over the maybe the not sure thing because like 90% of books die on submission. So it was a good offer, and I had, the publisher was good to work with. My publisher is very good to work with, and they, really marketed the book well. And so far, it's worked out great.
That's amazing. I think, weighing your options when it comes to something like that is the best idea because there are some people who do like completely indie and then other people that do like the traditional route. So yeah, I love that insight. So we're at time.
That
I was afraid to start another question when we only had like 18 seconds left.
was so
Um,
quick.
okay, so we have finished up our 5 minute AMA session, but so this will be posted on Instagram, but we're going to continue chatting. So anyone that wants to hear the full episode, you can catch it on Spotify and YouTube. So I did want